Hello and welcome, my name is Dominic Burke and this is my portfolio piece for my first ever LIPA 6 film college play. In Class 1B, the play that we've been studying for the past month has been The 39 Steps, a thrilling, suspenseful adventure that has been adapted from classic novel into one of the most exciting stage productions of our time. Whether you know the story of the 1915 book by John Butcher, Alfred Hitchcock's 1935 film, or the stage adaptation that's been a hit worldwide, there's a lot to unpack in this fast-paced, character-driven story. We'll break it down into 4 sections today: the context, the themes of the piece, analysis of 2 central characters, and special interviews with cast members, and also some references to Brechtian theatre. We'll also include a basic analysis of ensemble theatre with examples from Frantic Assembly and an in-the-round performance of A Company of Wolves, and the theatrical style on which this production exists. Let's jump right in. The 39 Steps is a story born from the world of espionage. Set in the backdrop of pre-World War I Europe, originally published in 1915, John Butcher's novel was a thriller with the focus of an adventure, patriotism, and the battle between good and evil. Alfred Hitchcock's 1935 film brought the story into the big screen, infusing with suspense, wit, and his signature cinematic style. In 2005, a stage adaptation by Simon Corbell and Nobby Dimon premiered, with put a unique spin on the material by using only 4 actors to portray dozens of characters, creating a fast-paced, comedic and high-energy version of the original tale. The premise is simple. The story follows Richard Hannay, an average Briton man who has become embroiled in conspiracy involving spies, secret agents and an international assassination plot. Hannay must uncover the secret behind the 39 steps to stop a catastrophe, all while being pursued by the police and the shadowy figures behind the conspiracy. At its heart, the 39 Steps explores themes of identity, loyalty and betrayal. It's about how one person's ordinary life can spiral into extraordinary circumstance. There's also an underlying commentary on the tensions between national security and the personal freedoms set against the backdrops of Europe and the brink of war. The themes of trust and deception are survival and ever-present, making the narrative timeless. Stylistically, the stage adaptation is a high-energy, fast-paced comedy thriller. It blends elements of physical theatre, slapstick and farce. The production is known for its inventive use of minimalistic sets, quick costume changes, and the actor's ability to shift seamlessly between numerous characters. It's a production where the absurdity of the plot matches the comedic, almost cartoonish physicality of the performance. Now let's dive into the characters that drive the story forward. Our protagonist, Richard Hannay, and the antagonist known as the Professor, are at the heart of the drama. The clash of ideals and physicalities is what makes this production so compelling. Richard Hannay is our everyman hero. When we first meet him, he's bored, middle-class man with little ambition, living a very mundane life in London. His character is defined by his quick thinking, adaptability and deep sense of justice. Hannay is an archetype of the British stiff upper lip, calm under pressure, even in the most bizarre circumstances. The thing that makes him so engaging is that he's constantly out of his depth, forced to improvise and think on his feet, navigate the espionage with the world he's been thrust into. Hannay's journey is one of personal transformation. He goes from a passive observer of world events to an active participant in high-stakes conspiracies. His objective is clear: stop the assassination plot and uncover the secrets behind the 39 steps. He represents the values of duty, heroism, and the individual agency. His physicality on the stage in the production is often frantic, running, dodging, jumping, all while maintaining the quintessential British composure, even when the world around him seems to be falling apart. Then we have the Professor, the primary antagonist, who stands in direct opposition to Hannay. The Professor is enigmatic, calculating and manipulative, embodying the sinister side of intelligence and espionage. While Hannay represents the everyday man who's been forced into extraordinary circumstance, the Professor is a symbol of shadowy, often unseen forces that operate behind the scenes. His objective is to keep the 39 steps a secret and to further his sinister agenda. The Professor's physicality is starkly different from Hannay's. Where Hannay's is active, always on the move, the Professor is deliberate, slow, calculating. He uses his intellect as his weapon, relying on manipulation and mind games rather than brute strength like Hannay. His journey is not one of transformation, but of maintaining control over the situation. He is the embodiment of the hidden forces working in the shadows, and his calm demeanour contrasts from Hannay's ever-present urgency. For the little scenes that the Professor and Hannay actually do have together, the tension between Hannay and the Professor is what drives the plot. Hanne's physicality is often a reaction to the professor's unseen machinations. Where Hanne runs, reacts, improvises, the professor plots, schemes, and pulls the strings from the shadows. Their objectives could not be more clearer. Hanne must stop
Hello
the
there,
professor's plan.
post-production
The professor
Dominic
must
Berg speaking. Some audio got corrupted, unfortunately, and what I was saying was that the professor must maintain the secrecy of the 39 steps.
The direct definition of ensemble is a group of musicians, actors, or dancers who perform together. Our performance of the 39 Steps represents this completely. We've had to do scenes as a cast where multiple people play the exact same character, where we all play a specific part of an object, people carrying each other, and many other ensemble moments in our performance. One of the most famous examples of an ensemble theatre company is Frantic Assembly. They've done many performances as an ensemble cast, but one I myself have seen in person is their production of Metamorphosis, which was the stage adaptations of Franz Kafka's novella. Seeing the horror of the lighting and the separation of the ensemble cast, Gregor locked in his room, was truly mesmerising. Another example of ensemble, specifically in and around like our project is telling us to do, was when our college went to see A Company of Wolves, a dark retelling of the Little Red Riding Hood story. This was truly a unique performance where we saw acrobatics as the ensemble of the wolves climb up poles in animalistic fashion, and how each character, no matter where you were sitting, you could see part of the action. As a performer studying in the round performances, this was a levelling experience and crucial to our education our course needed. We also saw a Year 3 Lipper performance of The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, which was also in the round. This gave me a ton of inspiration for how we can stage scenes. For example, in the first processor scene, we revisited it, and instead of talking to the Hannes that were in the centre of the stage, me and the other professors started projecting our actions towards the audience. Performing in the round proved extraordinarily challenging as a cast. We often hit roadblocks with certain scenes. For example, we had to stage a plane crash, and we had a lot of ideas, but eventually we all kind of just burnt out near the end. Here's a short clip of that.
This picture was smaller, probably like that. Yeah. Do you think it's let's stop talking about the size. Yeah. Whose hand was next? Me? No, it wasn't, because I had two more other points and then I got rudely interrupted. Anyway. You looked at me then, I'm really sure. No, you really. I'm just...
As you can tell, it wasn't our most productive day. But at the very least, we had Sonny give us an inspirational speech at the end of the day. Here's also a clip of that.
I'm going to be on stage. We gave up. So half the people aren't here. People walked off. We need a break. We don't need a break. We're a semi-professional act. What do you think you're going to live it for? To have a 10-minute break to go down and have a white Kinder Bueno? So absolutely never, ever, ever again.
In the end, though, we were able to actually get it on its feet, and now it looks pretty good. And here's another clip of what it looks like.
Heard the dialogue.
Listen, damn Austin Pension Scottish Miss. Wait a minute, oh my god! What? We're too close to the... Oh no! What? Change direction!
All legs converge in the middle. Head towards the middle really slowly.
I can't! Oh, no! We're going to... Oh god! Oh no! Ah!
Maybe wait for that line, but yeah.
We messed around with the use of physical theatre in the round. For example, we had one of our cast members, Angelica, walk across other people's shoulders across the space as a unique of staging her character, Richard Hanne, she was playing, move across the top of a train. The end product of the scene, however, went a bit differently than we first imagined. We had multiple people lift the bench that she was on while she looked around the audience. This was definitely less physically challenging on all our actors because we got complaints that people's shoulders were hit, and so the bench...
Hello there, yet again. Here is another edition from post-production Dominic Berg.
when he forgot to record himself saying that he was going to play a short little interview that I did with the cast member Angelica, who played Richard Hannay, about her experiences with the train scene and stuff like that. And I forgot to record it because, you know, something that I wrote in my script. Of course, I wouldn't just read that out. Anyways, here is the short interview I did with Angelica.
Hello, I forgot to introduce that. This is the way I also have an interview section. This is Angelica from the previously mentioned clip. Anyways, like 4 questions for you. What was going through your mind when you were asked to walk on people's shoulders?
A combination of fear and excitement. I love physical theatre, so that was really exciting, but obviously it's pretty high up, so that was quite scary.
So what were the challenges of walking on people's shoulders?
Definitely trusting individual people to do it.
Individuals, no name and shame over.
Well, obviously, with the new version, the antagonist is supporting me, but with the original, it was one person at a time.
Yeah.
So if they weren't strong enough or they were struggling, I could feel that and I'd tip sideways. So I'd say that was the most challenging bit because it was hard to trust them when that was happening.
Fair enough. Was the first concept of the train scene harder than the most recent concept we did in class?
Definitely, the first one was much harder because now obviously I have the entire group to support me, so I feel a lot more comfortable up there. I can also move around a lot more because I've got an entire bench and I can be in character as well, which is really difficult when walking across everyone's shoulders.
Fair enough. So do you have any ideas on how we can improve further?
Not that many, to be honest. I guess now I have the opportunity to be in character because that was really difficult before. So I think there's opportunity to add that in and a little bit more movement because I can go across the bench and do that.
Hello, once again, post-production Dominic Beck. This isn't something I'm necessarily required to actually put in there, but I do want to just say I did thank her for this interview. I don't just have ridiculously bad manners. I promise I thanked her the moment I stopped recording. I said thank you. I got good manners. I'm clearing my name.
So what is the theatrical style that this production embodies? Given its fast-paced, physical nature, use of multiple characters by small ensemble actors, the 39 Steps is heavily influenced by the techniques of physical theatre and farce, but it also has elements of Brechtian theatre, particularly in the way that it plays with the audience expectations and breaks the fourth wall. Physical theatre is at the core of this production. The actors rely on heavily exaggerated movement and facial expressions and body language to convey a wide range of emotions and actions. Often with the use of extensive dialogue, this allows for very high-energy slapstick comedy to unfold seamlessly. The quick transitions between characters, where the actor might play multiple roles in a single scene, demonstrates the importance of a physical skill and improvisation. It's a production that requires a great deal of stamina and precision, but it relies on the actor's ability to communicate the humour and the tension through their bodies. Additionally, we see elements of Brecht's epic theatre, a form style that encourages critical thinking rather than emotional immersion. The actors' quick changes and costumes of roles often remind the audience that they are watching a performance, that these are actors on stage, not characters. The use of minimalistic sets and props also keeps the focus on the action and the ideas rather than an elaborate scenery and spectacle.
Hopefully for the last time, post-production Dominic here. In the clip that you are about to see me talking in, the audio is incredibly delayed. I don't have time anymore to re-record any of this audio. I am so sorry. You're gonna just have to put up with it. But I really am. This project has proven to me how much of a nightmare audio editing is.
The farcical elements of the 39 Steps, with its absurd situations, mistaken identities, and exaggerated physical comedy, are essential to the play's energy. The slapstick humour, the improbable coincidences, and the fast-paced nature of the plot all seem to stem from a traditional farce, where the ridiculous and the seriousness collide in just hilarious ways. The 39 Steps is a thrilling adventure that explores timeless themes of heroism, espionage, and identity. Through its dynamic characters, Richard Hannay, the everyman hero, and Professor Jordan, the shadowy antagonist, and its fast-paced physical style. It's a production that keeps its audience on the edge of their seats. Whether you're a fan of suspense, comedy, physical theatre, this piece offers something for just about all kinds of audiences. And lastly, something I'm not necessarily required to do, but I do feel like it does deserve a mention. I would like to thank our director, Tim Linsky, for making this whole piece happen. This has been an unforgettable experience, and I can't wait for my next project. Thank you very much for watching.
What do you do?
You messed up so bad. You need to fix it.
Stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. You ain't never gonna burn my heart. What will Sally do? And so Sally can wait. She knows it's too late, but she's walking on.
Sorry, stand there for.
The show slides away. But don't look back in anger. I heard you say.